Fifth graders, hello fifth graders. I'm out here in our beautiful sensory garden, just getting ready to read your literature to you. It's our STEM Day 2. It's March 31st, 2017. I hope you guys are ready to have a lot of fun. You guys are doing a project where you make an earthquake safe structure. So what you're trying to do is you're going to first create your shake table. Okay, your teachers will tell you how to do that. It's really easy. Get 2 textbooks, put 2 markers in between, 2 rubber bands around it, and shake it. Second, you're going to construct a structure that will withstand 90 seconds of shaking. Whoever lasts the longest without any structural damage, kind of sort of is the winner. That's the purpose. But first, I'm going to read you a book called Earthquakes, okay? So get ready, and I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you around taking some pictures and video. Bye-bye. Is called Danger Earthquakes. It was written by Seymour Simon. The ground beneath your feet may seem solid, but earthquakes make the ground shake and roll. Most earthquakes last a minute or less, yet they cause more damage than any other natural disaster. Earthquakes can knock down buildings and wreck highways. They can destroy whole cities and towns. Look at that damage. Each year, there are about a million earthquakes around the world, but only about 100 of these cause much damage. Fewer than 20 result in deaths. The worst earthquakes can kill thousands of people. In Italy, 85,000 people died when a dangerous quake hit in 1908. That was a long time ago. None of us were born. Scientists use the Richter scale to measure an earthquake's power. You may not even notice a magnitude 2 quake. You would feel the ground shake in a magnitude 3 quake. A magnitude 7 or higher can destroy a city. The largest recorded earthquake was an 8.5 in Chile in 1960. That's the year my dad was born, so he's 56 years old, so that was a while ago. The Mercalli scale tells us how much damage an earthquake caused. You would not feel a level 1 quake. Windows break at level 5. Level 12 is the worst. Everything is totally destroyed. The earthquake that shook San Francisco in October 1989 measured 7.1 on the Richter scale. On the Mercalli scale, it measured from 6 to 11 in different parts of the city, so it was totally devastating. Most of the world's earthquakes happen in a zone called the Pacific Ring of Fire, right around there. Places most major earthquakes have hit in the last 30 years and the Pacific Ring of Fire. Wow, look at that. So it kind of goes around here like that. Most earthquakes begin in the Earth's crust. The crust is a layer of rocks that covers the Earth. It is 5 to 30 miles deep. Cracks in the rocks run through the crust. These are called fault zones. The rocks on one side of a crack push against the rocks on the other side. The rocks may stay in place for years, but then they suddenly slide past each other. What makes the rocks move? The answer lies below the crust in the mantle. The mantle is a 2,000-mile thick layer of melted rock. Over millions of years, movements in the mantle have cracked the crust into huge floating pieces called plates. These plates grind past each other at about 2 inches per year. That's about as fast as your fingernails grow. The layers of rock in this photo folded because of movements in the mantle. The San Andreas Fault lies between the North American and the Pacific plates. It runs for 700 miles through Southern California to just north of San Francisco. Each year, California has about 35,000 earthquakes. Most are too small to be felt. Less than 100 measure 4 or more on the Richter scale. Look at that. Alaska has more earthquakes than any other state. Alaska has a magnitude 7 quake almost every year. Earthquakes also occur in the central United States. In 1811, an 8+ quake shook the Mississippi Valley. It caused church bells to ring in Boston, nearly 1,000 miles away. That was a powerful earthquake. The most violent earthquake ever recorded in the United States took place in Anchorage, Alaska in March 1964. The quake measured 8.4 on the Richter scale and 10 on the Mercalli scale. Cracks in the earth up to 30 feet wide opened like giant jaws. Nearby ports were completely destroyed by huge waves. More than 100 people died. In September 1985, an 8.1 earthquake struck Mexico City. The quake was more powerful than 1,000 atomic bombs. Nearly 10,000 people were killed. Hundreds of buildings were destroyed. Since then, stronger buildings have been erected. These new buildings are much safer. You guys are going to try to build an earthquake-safe structure today. Some buildings remain standing during a strong earthquake, while others nearby collapse. The building on steep hillsides or on loose soil is dangerous. It's safer to build a house on flat land and solid rock. The safest buildings can bend back and forth without breaking. Well, that's pretty cool. Scientists use machines that can measure and record earthquake activity. They can tell us where earthquakes are likely to strike. But they cannot tell us exactly when, where, or how big an earthquake will be. So we still have some more work to do with that kind of technology. Here is what to do if you are in an earthquake. If you're indoors, stay there. Take cover under a sturdy table, desk, or bed. Stay away from windows, mirrors, or high cabinets. If you are outdoors, move away from power lines and tall buildings. No one can prevent earthquakes, but in the future we will be able to reduce the damage they cause. The end. Hope you enjoyed it. Get ready to build. I'll be around to come take some pictures and videos in a little bit.